team is in. Can we get applause? Let's make it longer. Right, the party was well. Hello. Vamos. Let's take a look at it. Hola! Let's see, let me get the comments up. The applause will come like later. Wow. Let's see what comments. There we go. Sinking a little bit. It's, a few things happening all at once. Comments are a little slow, but I can see them on the screen, so that's good. Welcome, everyone, to MoB Kaffeeklatsch 153. Wow. Okay, let's see. Good morning, Chris. Good morning, CW. Marie, good morning. Audrey, good morning. I see that you're out and about. The little delayed applause, people, it took a while for them to get on board. Paige, good morning. I'm still mourning your death, Paige. Let's see. Heather, good morning. Yes, do that Earl Grey because Earl Grey's good. I'm getting into I always drink my Death Wish, as you can see. Death Wish for the win. But I am drinking lemon ginger at night, which is actually really good. So yeah. Let's see what else we got here. I'm glad you enjoyed it, CW. What else is here? That smooth shave makes me. Yeah, I've lost years apparently, according to the shave. So let's see. Then I guess I'll just put that out now because clicked on this one's wow. I don't know what screen that's acting all funky. I'll hit that right now because it's already been stated. The last part of Senior Citizen, which is the Nana and Dex story, is up on Patreon now. So if you're not part of Patreon, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you, really, because you're missing out on fantastic stories. So please join Patreon. Find someone and help them join Patreon as well, because that way they can get even more stories. All right, who's here? Let's see. I think everyone that needs to be here is here, but we need to. Let's wait. Give me a few more minutes. Let me drink some Death Wish. It's been an eventful morning, so. Why are you extra comatose, Marie? Let's see. Oh, good morning, Neha. Youth, yeah, Orlando. This is the young Orlando. I went back in time, and I grabbed him, and I brought him forward in time, and that's who's here now, young Orlando. Oh, okay. All right, let's get started. Everyone's here. We'll start with who's here. We're watching Dawn. Hi, Dawn. You're watching from your porch as the hurricane's heading out. Whoa. Nana, I'm glad you enjoyed Nana and Dex. All right, so we'll discuss Nana and Dex first. Let me just give a shout out to everyone that's here. Hello, everyone from YouTube. Hello, everyone from Facebook. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. You're more than welcome. You guys are awesome. If you're on YouTube, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell so you know when we come up. We're at Ben Peaches Publishing if you're curious, and that's where we are. And share. Like, subscribe, and share on YouTube because it really helps the channel grow. On Instagram, I put up I think I put up one post, but I'm getting into the new program that I have, so I'll be putting up more posts. I'm going to try and promote the Patreon page and the short stories there as well. So go to Instagram and follow us. Here's our Patreon page. Please share this with as many people as you can. Sure. Show. Streamer's acting a little funky today. Even though I closed off a bunch of tabs, but it's acting A little lethargic. There it is. There's our Patreon page link. So go there and follow. Join us. Pick a tier that you feel comfortable at and be part of the Magic Squad. That's who we are on Patreon. Dolly, say hello.
Hi, everyone. Hello.
Do you see it? My lips. Go ahead, do it again.
Hello.
So I'm not the most crazy ventriloquist in the world. Dolly's right there. She's just hiding over here in this. Okay. Let me hide this. Yeah, so we're on Instagram. I'm putting a post. I'm getting this software called Quote Creator, but I'm using it to put up posts on Instagram and put posts of the short stories, which those pieces of work are really ideal for Instagram because they're little bits, and I can just put up a snippet or so, like a few lines, and it's perfect for Instagram. So that's what I'm using. Yeah, the internet in New York City is slow right now. I think the whole United Nations thing is we have the UN is in session right now, and that might be impacting our internet right now. So that's probably why we're acting a little slow. We're on Zazzle. So this is Zazzle swag. This one. This is an old one. I don't even know if it's still there. This is Zazzle swag. This is Zazzle swag. So go to Zazzle. We're at EMANDES and get some swag. If you don't have Zazzle swag, really, can you really say that you're living if you don't have Zazzle swag? Get some Zazzle swag. Add some Zazz to your life. Get some Zazzle swag. For real. Do you have Zazzle swag, Dolly? The answer is always yes.
Yes.
You have Zazzle swag? Yes, you have Zazzle swag. Zazzle swag, it's just not clothing, it's an attitude. There you go. Product placement right there. See, I should be drinking from a Zazzle cup, but this is my Iron Man cup. So. Let's put up our Zazzle link. See if StreamYard is cooperating. Cooperate, StreamYard. Let's go. It's taking a while. StreamYard's feeling a little old today. There you go. Come on. There it is. That is our Zazzle store link. Please use that. It's up on the MoB as well. That's a great picture. Do you know I crossed that bridge today? It looks like the one I crossed today. No, that's not. That's not the Brooklyn Bridge. No, I didn't cross the Brooklyn. That's not the Brooklyn Bridge. That's not the Queensboro Bridge. It looks like the Triborough. You're just gonna keep naming bridges, aren't you? I like those. Not the Queen. No, that's bad. That is the It looks like the Triborough Bridge or the George Washington. No, that can't be the George Washington because in the background is the Empire State Building. That's the Williamsburg. That's the Williamsburg or the Manhattan Bridge. Yeah. Right, like you said. So this link that's up on the screen, one of the many bridges you mentioned. This link that's up on the screen is our Zazzle store link. Go use it. Use that reference number, please. So use this exact link and please go get some swag. Like I said, M&S swag. It's not just gear. It's an attitude. Ooh, I'm patenting that. Awesome. Okay, let's hide this link. Hide it. Understand the net glitch had that too. Yeah, it's our networks have been acting a little funky this week, only because I think the UN is in session. Okay, what else we got? Oh, let's thank our new patrons. Okay, ever since the Morgan's Man, right? Patreon has been exploding because the Morgan's Man has been so much fun to write. I think so much fun to read, and then Nana and Dex kind of added to the explosion. Nana and Dex has just been so much fun. Both to write and to go back and read. I really like Nana and Dex. I think Nana and Dex needs a book. What do you think? Definitely. I think Nana and Dex need a full-length book for sure, or at least a novella. Even though the story was how long? About 20, 10K. So yeah, it's close. So I think Nana and Dex need more space, more time. You know. So our new patrons. Okay, here we go. Mike, Colleen's 13, Linda Patrick, Beth underscore 12345, Deb J, Margaret Millsop, Otto Creedman. Thank you so much for being patrons, for joining our patrons and joining the Magic Squad. We really, really appreciate you. And I want to extend this to all the patrons. You guys are amazing. You're incredible. It doesn't matter what tier you're on. I appreciate each one of you for supporting the writing, supporting me, and helping us be able to do more of these short stories that are fantastic to do and get it out to you guys in a timely basis. And I created quite a few stories. We have a few stories that are in the wings, yeah? I'm getting a big thumbs up. A few stories that are in the wings. So you guys get treats that are coming to you, literary treats that are coming to you. Big thumbs up of it. You can't see it, but the thumbs up is right there. It's like this. But more, it's daintier though, because this is my hand. All right, let's see. Marie says, has anyone here offended any decision maker on the internet? Or is it the old ones that are interfering? If the old ones were interfering, we wouldn't have an internet. The internet wouldn't be up. So probably someone offended some decision maker. All right, we don't have any new authors to promo today, but there's a standing we support SOIA. We support our indie authors. Soya. That's like my daughter Zoya. Soya. The SOIA protocol of the MoB Kaffeeklatsch is that we support our indie authors. Always, they're really important. Indie authors are just so important to our literary ecosystem. It's good to have indie authors, and it's good to support them, to get them as much visibility as possible. Just get the word out about their stories, about their books, and what they're up to. When you have a healthy, independent author ecosystem, it helps all the authors. So we support our indie authors. If you have any indie authors that you have found, any stories that you have found that you really enjoy, I'm currently in KF Green right now. She's not an indie author, I know, but oh man, her story. What's the name of the story, babe?
The Leveling Up series.
The Leveling Up series. We're on book 2. Book 2, the Leveling Up series. Guys, KF Green is really smart writer. Having a lot of fun reading her work. So, but there are a lot of indie authors out there that we support that you should, if you find them and you really enjoy what they've written, then please put it up in the MoB. Use the L3 protocol. L3, name of the book, title, and to put the title and the name of the author. And just say L3, and this is a book I found. I think we should we support our indie authors. Share, maybe even hashtag SOIA. We support our indie authors, and put it up in the MoB, and let everyone know that you're enjoying the story. Everyone else should give it support, give a look, and we kind of promote everyone when we can. It's really important. So go out there, find the authors that you're reading, and I know you guys have TBRs lists that are insane. Take some of those authors and put them in the MoB and share with everyone so we can increase their readership. It's really, really important. And that's my rant on indie authors. But yeah, it's really important that they get support. So please, let's all do our best to support our indie authors. Okay. What do we have happening? Okay, did you get so the most recent and the last installment of Senior Citizen is up. They're all posted. And what are your thoughts on Senior Citizen? I'd like to hear what you guys think on Senior Citizen. And man, is the internet slow, baby? Is it slow for you too? Yeah, it's really slow. There it is. Oh, what happened in New York City? Nothing, Eden. We just have all the dignitaries from all the countries. We have the UN in session, so traffic is insane, and it might be messing with our internet because when all these people are in, there's a certain load on the network in the city, and it slows everything down. Yeah, see, Audrey has internet issues. Hello, Audrey. No sound, internet issues here, even phone didn't ring. Wow. Hello, Audrey. Hello, Audrey. There you go. We're glad you're here, Audrey. You're not be able to hear us, but let me just post a quick hello, Audrey. Hello. Oh, jeez. Even typing, my God, it's gonna arrive tomorrow at this rate. Wow. Yeah, Paige, it's hilarious. It's hilarious. I really, really like it. So I'm listening to KF. I mean, I knew who KF Green was before, prior to her series, and she's up there. I mean, she's a really well-known author, but I never read any of her work, and now I'm getting into the Leveling Up series, which is a lot of fun. A lot of good ideas in there that are great that I might even implement. That I've been informed. Dolly informed me yesterday that the idea of a location imbuing the residents with certain powers or level ups. I guess it's level up. That's why it's called leveling up, right? Uh, a location giving power to the people that are there is not new. I know that, but the way that KF Green does it is a really smart way of doing it, and I think I may have to do something like that. So it's important to kind of. That's why you should read other authors because you get ideas. You might get an idea that kind of tweaks an idea you have and gives it a different spin. You go, that's a good idea. Let me try that. So as authors, as writers, we should always be reading something, and that's it's important. So that's a little PSA to all the authors out here. Yeah, we have the leaders, or I guess the presidents and leaders of the countries of the world are in New York City because the UN is here. And we spent much did we spend? 2 hours in traffic the other day. We spent about 2 hours in traffic getting through Midtown because that's where the UN is. The UN is on 42nd, and we had to go from what was it? What was it? We went to Cookery. What was that? We went to 42nd, right? And then so we had to go through 42nd. We went to 42nd, through 42nd, up to 59th Street, and that was right through the heart of the city. And that was a 2-hour trip, but we made a lot of friends. We made some Korean friends. We made a friend in front of a university club. We made friends with some police officers, with security, delivery guy, right? I slammed into a mirror. Those mirrors could be not our mirror, but those mirrors could be pretty rough. Right. The one who went to a small liberal arts club. Yeah. What college? Which one? Small liberal arts. I don't think he's mentioned. Yeah. We made a lot of friends on the way because we were in traffic, and so because we were in traffic, we would kind of stop and go, stop and go. Yeah, to our children's horror, they're like, "Oh my God!" And every time we spoke to someone, they were like, "Oh my God, no, don't!" That was so much fun. That part alone, that was more fun than the actual speaking to the people. Just how horrified they are. It's our goal as parents, and I guess later on as grandparents, to embarrass your children. So there you go. Hello, Carrie, and welcome. Let's see. So let's talk updates. What we have because time is moving fast. Okay. I am currently working. These are the updates. So let's discuss, and then we can get into. I want to discuss kind of what you guys think of those of you who are reading the Patreon stories, which are thinking of them. But let's get into what we have in the updates. So in the updates, we have Frozen Fire. I'm currently in the beginnings of that, but that's picking up speed. It's picking up momentum, and that should be. It's getting to a head. So it's gonna be a lot of fun. Frozen Fire. It's the Fate of the Dark Mages with Val and Mel. Wendy, good morning. Welcome. After Frozen Fire, and well, I say concurrently. Excuse me. We're Frozen Fire. I'm doing Brew and Chew, which is an interesting exercise because it's written from Peaches' point of view, and so it's not as intellectually elevated as I can make it, but it's Peaches, so he has a very distinct voice when he speaks, and so I have to flip from Frozen Fire or anything for Patreon to Brew and Chew it's an interesting switch in terms of voices because Peaches is a very distinct uh, thinking speaking pattern. It's not I wouldn't say it's simple, but it's much more efficient and it's fun, but it's actually it's like a challenge. It's almost like writing for children, writing Peaches' voice. Because the way he speaks is very it's interesting in the M&S stories because it doesn't have many lines, it doesn't speak much. But when it's a story like a Brew and Chew story, he's the narrator. He's the one you're being told the story from his point of view, and it's a really kind of interesting, challenging method of writing when it's Peaches because of the way he writes. Now, when he's like Peaches excel, then it goes into the other end of the spectrum, and it's writing him as an incredibly intelligent character. So it's fun both ways. Let's see. Paige is saying, well, the leveling up part is the main character of Crappy Hub, right? Getting a better guy, no spoilers, as well as discovering her heritage part. Yeah, I'm already at that part. So yeah, so yeah, Austin Steve. Mm. His luscious muscles. What is a lingering stares? That's another reason why I'm getting into Cave Brain because she writes kind of romantasy, but fun romantasy, and it's fun. It doesn't take itself too seriously. So I'm actually it's homework for me. I'm actually learning from the way she writes the romantic aspect of her stories. But Austin Steele, wow, wow. Yeah, Chris. So every time we would stop, the Valkyries would dread because some guy was standing there. Either was security, Anthony, welcome, or it was a bunch of. There was like a Korean protesting group or a Korean group waiting for somebody. It was an event, and there was a bunch of Koreans holding Korean signs. Yeah, it was a different. Right, right. So the protest was in one area. We didn't interact with the protesters, but there was a bunch of Koreans who were just standing there, were holding Korean signs. We were big Korean K-drama fans, so we recognized the signs. Oh yeah, and I asked the guy. There was a security guy there. I said, what's going on?" He says, "It's an event, right?" What did he answer? "It's an event." And I said, "감사합니다." And he went, "Oh, you know Korea?" And then, that really mortified the Valkyries. That was great. Wendy, is it meat centric? If Peaches is involved, pretty much everything is meat centric in Peaches' world, because Peaches, come on, meat is life. So yes, it's meat centric, but he, interestingly, Not that I didn't know this, but Peaches is very philosophically deep as a hellhound. Just doesn't always come across in the M&S stories, but especially in the Brew and Chew. Like I read Hellhound Blues to get ready to write Brew and Chew, and it's really quite profound. Some of the things that he says, real. I was surprised, not surprised as if I hadn't written it, but surprised that the thoughts that he gets across can be seen and has a dual nature. It seems really simple, but at the same time, it's really deep if you see it from a different point of view. And in Brew and Chew, he has, I can't tell you the story because I don't want to spoil it, but there's a lot of fun. And Peanut is in this story. So it's a lot of fun. And yeah. Yeah, Audrey, I don't know what's going on. I'm sorry to hear you're having internet problems. I'm sorry to hear that. But I will mention B&M. Oh, Bangers. Who's B&M? Bangers and Mash? I think that's B&M, right? I will mention B&M. So welcome, Anthony. Uh, so let's see where am I? Oh, Morgan's Man, we're up to part 6, right? Morgan's Man part 6. So you have part 5 that's up now on Patreon. Part 6 will be coming soon. So be ready. Be ready because it's coming. And the Morgan's Man is whoa, the Morgan's Man. I am very impressed with how the Morgan's Man came out in terms of how Simon has taken on the role. And my main concern with having Simon without Monty is his interactions. But what's really important is that Simon still has Peaches to talk to. And in the Morgan's Man, he's gonna speak with Peanut, he's gonna speak with the Morgan. And anytime he interacts with the Morgan, it's almost as if the Morgan is a stand-in for Monty in terms of Simon interacting with someone magical, except that the Morgan's way off the charts. But he also has Dex and he has Monty as well. Monty will be making cameos. There'll be a lot of cameos in the Morgan's Man because Simon will have to get a lot of help for some of his assignments. And he'll be calling on Monty to help him. He'll be calling on there's a whole cast of characters. In this story, there's a one cameo. Actually, there's a few cameos that I'm not gonna spoil it for you. There are a few awesome cameos in this one. Yeah, the main speak is really fun when Simon. I can't get into it. I don't want to spoil it for you guys, but Zillia Simon talking for sure. There are also characters in part 6 that I can't spoil, but are going to be a lot of fun when you see them and go, oh, because I went, oh, awesome, ooh, that kind of thing. But that'll be out soon. I can't say when because come on, I would be spoiling it. So just have to stay tuned. But it's coming soon. Senior Citizen is completely posted now. Nemesis. So Nemesis, which is the continuation of Deadeye, right? It's been quiet for about a week or two. Ever since Deadeye finished, Nemesis has been kind of quiet, low key. But there are rumblings now. Nemesis is starting to, like, the claws are starting to grow, you know, and it's letting Nemesis is getting a little growly. Put it that way. Let's see. Heather says, how long does a hellhound puppyhood last? That depends on the author, Heather. I know a few hellhounds have been puppies for a long, long time. Not even Peaches. I can't tell you that, Wendy. Come on. Oh, that's like total spoiler information. We can't divulge that kind of information. Cannot. I'm sorry, Wendy. No. I'm glad the captions are working. So let me put captions are working. Can I type it? No, didn't even type it because StreamYard doesn't want me to type or anything. Yeah, but I haven't typed it for her to read it. Yeah, but I just want to say, glad captions are working. I was typing that, and I said it came out glorious. Captions are working. Yes. So the crew, Anthony, it'll go up by tomorrow. Don't worry. Look at that. Glory King captions are working. That's supposed to be glad captions are working. I don't know. Anthony, yes. So the Brew and Chew crew, really that's like the name of a great bar or restaurant, the Brew and Chew. Kind of like the preschool 10. They're really they're growing on me. It's really fun to write. Rags is coming across as the mama bear of the group who poo-poos everything. Peaches is, I guess he's gonna be the kind of the de facto leader in a way, even though he's clearly not the strongest one there. Then you've got Cece and now Peanut, very compatible in terms of the mayhem and destruction that they will create. And you top that all off, and you round it off with Frank, who I guess is really the leader of because he's the adult of the group, even though he's a thorny dragon. But he's really the adult, and he's the one that's he kind of guides everyone because he's much older than all of them. But Frank is just Frank is Frank is like violence first, questions never, basically. It's so hard to talk without spoiling. It really is. But Peanut is kind of like the star of this one. Peanut and her bondmate are the star of Brew and Chew because this is where we introduce Peanut into the Brew and Chew. It's like, yeah, and that's what's happening. I can't say more than that because it gives away, and it's a short story. It really is 10K. The Brew and Chew is a short story. I think I can't really talk too much about it without giving anything away. Anthony says the Morgans man is almost like a night school for Simon on how not to be a magical spaz in a magical world. Basically, it's hard. I want to say it's hard to describe the Morgans man, but at the same time, it's not. It's basically Simon paying any debt that he owes to the Morgan, which is considerable, especially after Archmage, because there's a serious debt that he incurred. If you haven't read Archmage, and you should. If you're not up to Archmage, which is book what 20? It's Archmage is book 20. You got if you haven't read Archmage, you're 8 books back, close to be 9. But Simon incurred a serious debt in Archmage when they were facing an Archmage. I don't give too much away. And the debt he incurred was with the Morgan there. And that's about all I can tell you. But that incident is what created that, and something else that gets revealed later on is what created the Morgan's man in terms of the debt he incurs. And then there's something there involved with Kali later on that I can't tell now. But and Arthur's life is like full of spoilers. It's crazy. But yeah, so that debt that he incurred in Archmage comes to fruition in the Morgan's man. Now, it has been commented by some readers that it's not fair that the things that are happening in the Morgan's man haven't happened in M&S. And I get that because the Morgan's man is kind of it kind of grew organically. It wasn't really scheduled. but this needed to happen for Simon, and it's kind of happening interstitially, like it doesn't happen in the regular flow of time, which is why it's kind of gated in the Patreon, right? But at some point in the future, I think, don't quote me on this completely yet, but I think the assignments will be available to everyone at some point in the future. Okay? So for those of you that aren't in Patreon, I always rush those two. For those of you that are not in Patreon and can't access the Morgan's Man, at some point in the future, they will be available for everyone. Okay, let's see. We read. Let us think. Yeah, the Nemesis is getting scary. It's getting scary. So, it's simmering in the background, which is one of the scarier things because once that happens to a certain point, it boils and then it explodes, and then I have to write it, and it has to get done. And there's really no choice in that matter. Like I had another story come up a little while ago, Patreon story. See, one of the things about the Patreon stories which makes them so much fun is that they can be really short. So I had a Patreon story come up recently. When did I give you the ballot for the dying? What day was that? On the 19th? So that was like last week. Oh, no, today's the 19th. No, today's the 26th. So the 19th, like last week, Friday. Really? It was that long ago? Wow. Patreon story came up called Ballot for the Dying. And you sure that was Ballot for the Dying? What was the other one? Everyone Needs a Villain? Well, when was that one? Oh, okay. So 23rd, I wrote We All Need Villains. That one was the one that was like just came out, just exploded out and needed to be written. Really fun story, about 1,500 words. Perfect for Patreon. Again, if you're not part of Patreon, you're not gonna see those stories, but they're so much fun because they just happen spur of the moment. I get an idea, I run with it, and it just comes out. Yeah, it's crazy fun, crazy creative characters you're never gonna see. Maybe because Peanut originally was a Patreon story that she became a full-fledged character in the M&S World. Chris says will we see more of Dragon Frank? Yes, 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 yes. Take it as my Morpheus. Yes, yes. We'll see more of Dragon Frank for sure. Because Frank is basically flame them all, and we'll sort the bits out later. Maybe. Because Frank doesn't care. And he's really powerful. And so you're gonna see Frank soon. So soon. That when it happens, then I'll tell you, see, you saw Frank soon. Sooner than you can think. You'll see Frank. That's all I'm saying on that because I don't want to spoil anything. All right, let's move on. Oh God, it's already 12:05. Jeez. So Nemesis is in the prep phase for sure, and the outline is. I have to polish the outline just a bit because I want to make sure that it's fleshed out properly, and that it does justice to Deadeye. Because Deadeye was kind of a runaway story, and it covered so much, and uncovered so much, and now Nemesis kind of has to tie all the threads up of Deadeye. All the threads that were left kind of dangling now need to be pulled and tied up and put away. And that'll happen in Nemesis. The one thing I can say about Nemesis is that it's going to take a bunch of research because Nemesis is truly going to be a worldwide book, meaning they're going to go around the world and have see how much I can say. Okay, so Nemesis is basically one long fight with Dira and her abilities against Simon and Monty and Peaches. That's basically what Nemesis is, because it has to encapsulate what a nemesis is. And so, oh, Don, thank you so much for being here. She says, sorry, Mom, I have to leave working for bike week. Oh, wow, nice. Okay. Don, take care. Have a great, great weekend. It was I'm so glad to see you here today. Have fun and don't get too soaked. Okay. So before I keep continue on Nemesis, because this is still kind of out there, does anyone have any questions about Deadeye? Because I can answer them now, because at this point, if you haven't read Deadeye, I don't know what to tell you. Deadeye's been out for a little while now. So if you have questions for Deadeye, now's the time to ask them. What does Anthony say? Let's see. I love how you're covering all demographics. Geriatric powerhouses on a field trip. Junior nightmares meandering around the not Hogwarts. Special education for newly made mortals and high impact violence. Yeah, I try. Those are all the important demographics. Yeah. Carrie says, would you recommend not reading the Morgan's Manor to up to date with the prep? No, you can read the Morgan's Manor anytime, because once you read the Morgan's, you'll realize that these stories happen parallel to M&S, and um, the assignments that Simon is going on may touch upon what's happening in the series, but they're completely self-contained stories that don't have anything to do with what Monty and Simon are currently doing. So yeah, go crazy, read M&S, read the Morgan's Man, and have fun, because they don't happen at the same time as what Monty and Simon are dealing with. And barbecue sauce, yes, and add the barbecue sauce later for pizzas and meat is life. So are there any Deadeye questions? Because they might. I know the book ended on. I want to say hill hugger. Some people are saying cliffhangers. We're going to agree to disagree. But do you have any questions that I may be able to answer for you before Nemesis drops, or as Nemesis starts getting created? That you maybe have questions that maybe Deadeye left you with. If you have them, now is the time to ask them. I'm not answering any questions about how Paige died, because that's pretty self-explanatory. Paige died because she needed to. She was a red shirt, but it was a great, great death, Paige. Kudos on your death. So yes, so I will continue on the topic of Nemesis, and then but if you have any questions about Deadeye, now's the time to ask them. So Nemesis is truly worldwide. It's going all over the place, and they're having fights all over the place. And the book, one of the things that I always am conscious of with the stories that I'm trying to convey is that there's all this build up, and then when we get to the fight, it kind of gets compressed, right? Even I feel it sometimes, like there's all this time getting ready for the fight, and then the fight gets like crunched into like a chapter or two, and then it's the end of the book. And the problem is for me is that I kind of want to extend the fight, but the realistic part of my brain realizes fights don't last that long. And that's a constant kind of uh, tension, the push and pull in my head about if you make the fight too long, it's not realistic. And then the other half's like, it's fiction. It's not supposed to be realistic. Yes, but it's a fight. You can't make a fight 10 chapters long. So it's kind of this back and forth thing with me and fight scenes and ends of books and meeting the big bad and kind of creating resolutions. But in Nemesis, all those rules get thrown out, because the entire book of Nemesis is basically Monty, Simon, and Peaches hunting down Dira, and every time they meet, having a fight. And wherever they meet, they have a fight. And the fallout from that is because they had a fight. So there's going to be collateral damage, of course. There's going to be destruction. There's going to be persecution. There's going to be councils after them. Because wherever they meet, there's no conversation. It's give me the sword, forget you, die, use the sword, be compelled. It's like that. So that's basically. You want to know what Nemesis was like? That was the synopsis right there. In fact, I'm going to send it to DDD. The synopsis of Nemesis is give me the sword, die, compel, Nemesis. There you go. Chris says the short stories are great, like a short read with a coffee and whatever. Yeah, I like the short stories. On occasion, I read the short stories just to kind of see what's about. You know what the characters are doing in that story, just to remember too. Because sometimes I write them so fast that they kind of just fade out in my head. I have to say, for me right now, aside from the Morgan's Man, which has been such a blast to write, and Nana and Dex, which is now one of my favorite short stories, one of my favorite uh, character stories. Peanut is one of my favorite short story characters because Peanut is just such a singular character, and the way she was introduced, and the potential that she has, and her particular voice. There's a certain innocence, but there's also a real potential menace there with Peanut. So that's a lot of fun to write. That kind of dichotomy, the kind of duality of Peanut is so much fun to explore because she's a little girl, she's young, but by the same token, she's extremely powerful. And how she relates to the people who've tried to hurt her and also the people she has now bonded to in her new family and how she reconciles all of that. So much fun and it's deep and it pushes the characters to different places. And then by default, by her taking these new steps, the characters around her have to grow and adapt and shift and change as well because they just can't see her as this little girl. They see her as this little girl who has insane power. And how do you deal with that? So yeah, and Nemesis, it's a matter of so there are going to be turnarounds and there are going to be twists in Nemesis. So it's going to be interesting. So Deadeye, the guy Simon did not kill. How important is so we're referring to Gabriel, Gabriel Herm or Gabriel Herman, depending on how you want to, depending on what. How important is he? Very important. He'll come up in Nemesis again, and I don't know if he survives in Nemesis. I don't know. I don't want to give it away. I don't know if he pops up again in another story or something happens to him in Nemesis. I don't want to give that away. But he's really important because the organization that he's the head of, the Paranormal University of Research and Extranormals, is really relevant, but it's also hidden. And he plays a big role in that. And because he plays a big role in that, he becomes an important character in the series. Yes. I'm cutting in. Am I cutting in for you guys in and out really bad? Because there's been a lot of internet issues today, guys. Am I lagging over there for you, Dolly? Do you hear me clearly? Dolly says she hears me clearly, so I don't know what's going on. You sure you hear? I'm not cutting in. Yeah, it, yeah, you. Okay, so let me get to this next project that I've been. Geez, how long has Papa been on? 18 years, 17 years, 18 years. 18 has it really 18? I don't know. Can everyone hear me, or is just Mary having issues? Audrey says in and out here too, but Audrey's been having problems as well. I'm glad you're enjoying it, Stephen. I'm having a lot of fun writing the Nemesis. Sorry, the Morgan's Man. They're all one thing in my head sometimes. All right, let me get to the next thing, and then I can give you guys a rundown on what's coming next for the Morgan's Man. Dolly asks, is the Sound and Shafari one, or just Audrey and Mary so far? Please let us know because we want to make sure you guys can hear me. This is kind of important. It's kind of important. I can bring the mic even closer. But I don't think that's going to help. Let's go see the mic. The video is choppy, but the sound is smooth and solid, according to Christy. Chrisman. Okay, so next project that I'm working on. So 18 years ago, no joke, right? 18 years ago, I wrote a book on fatherhood. And when I tried to shop it around, welcome, Connie. You're not late. You're here. You're on time. When I tried to shop it around, I was told that no one was going to accept that book or no one's going to publish that book. Whatever. I was just told it's not happening. And I put it on the back burner. I think Dolly might have done a light edit back then, like a really light edit. And then, no, it's okay, Marie. Have a great weekend. Thank you so much for being here, and have a great rest of your weekend. So Dolly did a light edit, then I put it on the back burner, and I don't want to say I forgot about it. It was always there in the back of my head, but I just didn't really pay much attention to it because I was told it's not going to happen. And it was a book on fatherhood, so it was nonfiction. And for a while, I just kind of put it to the side. So 18 years later, it's going to come out at some point soon. I think it's going to get another round of edits, real edits this time. And then we're going to release a book on fatherhood. And let's see where it goes. I think that'll be fun. So Nemesis will be every Matrix. Anthony says Nemesis will be every Matrix fight combined. Yes, with bullet time. And the Burly Brawl in Matrix 2 in the park, for sure. Yes. Shades of Batman, that would be cool. Yes. I totally get that, for sure, Steve. Yes. So that's Fantastic Fox. The video stream is like, is it doing the voice, the mouth is moving and then the voice comes like 2 seconds later. That's funny. Okay, next assignment for the Morgan's man will be the veterinary. So I know we did a poll in the Patreon page about the assignments for never diss the Dex and Anna. The assignments for the Morgan's man. So I just want to kind of give you what the next assignments are going to be. So the very next assignment will have Deathless visiting a very important veterinarian for supernatural animals. That's going to be fun. After that, the assignment will be Substitute Simon, being kind of taking care of the magical school while the Morgan and Dex go on a romantic getaway. Simon's going to be in charge. And after that, there was a mention of a collar of damnation, which was kind of done. So we're tweaking that, and it's going to be the collar of power to help Peaches and Simon with their abilities and increasing their abilities as a battle form. So those are the next 3 assignments. I hope you guys like them. I'm going to have fun writing those. Yeah. Let's see. All little girls power level up as team. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's for sure. So yes, this has been your Japanese Kaffeeklatsch dub today, brought to you by Monty and Strong and M&S Clothing. Remember, where swag is not just gear; it's an attitude. Also with Peanut, how do you allow her? So face has garbling and stuttering on sound, and video has serious lag. That has to be all over the place because we are on LAN, so we're hooked up, like connected directly to our network, and it's just I'm sure the network in the city is all over the place. So I apologize for all technological difficulties. Yeah, we're gonna end it right now. It's already 4:40. Oh, sorry. I'm moving ahead in time. We might have to make the show a little shorter today. If everyone's having trouble, we might make it a little bit shorter. We'll see. Peanut, Heather asks, also with Peanut, how do you allow her to be a child still? Oh, let's see. But in the Midwest, where Chris is, the sound is smooth. So I think it's by area. Oh, but Chris is a technomancer.
high tech.
That's not fair, Chris. You're unleashing.
equipment
You're unleashing
that
this.
us mortals.
Yeah, Chris has technomancy ability. That's why it's smooth out there. It's unleashing his technomancer skills. How do I allow her to be a child still? She's always been a child in terms of the character. She's not an adult. So, But that question goes deeper into how do you write children, and that's I think that's a more profound question. Like, how do you write a good child character? Because we have quite a few in the M&S world, right? Anthony makes a good point. He said we may need to do an M&S Discord in the future, in the near future. I have no idea how to do that, but I think we might have to because it will definitely make it easier. But I don't know if it has a video component or do we have to become part of Twitch for that or what? Because it's a whole thing, Anthony. I've not done Discord. I mean, I've been on Discord servers, but I've not created one. So I think we need more, information first. But I think Discord is really for like the gamers or content creators, and they usually work in conjunction with Twitch, and then you have Twitch and Discord together. It doesn't really seem like it's what we need here. So yeah. What are you guys laughing about? I missed it. What was the joke? Okay, so let's move on. So to address, yeah, it's not the mic, it's the net. The net is acting funky today. It really is. How would it be different? It wouldn't be different, except that the server, Dolly's asking how would it be different from the mob group? It wouldn't. Oh, jeez, StreamYard. Sorry, Paige. It wouldn't be different. The only component is that it's the platform. One is on FB and one is Discord. Discord is an independent, I guess, group chat thing. Not crazy about Discord. There's been some crazy things that happen on Discord, but research and let's see, and run it by Chris Chrisman, who's our resident technomancer, Anthony. Discuss with him because he is our technomancer. Oh, do I need to get to questions at some point? Okay. Heather, I have not forgotten about your question. I think it's a really good question about how do we allow Peanut to still be a child. I think it's something we should pursue and kind of discuss deeper and further, only because there are a lot of authors who want to write children, and in order to do it properly, I'm not saying I'm the authority on this, but in order to do it properly in a way that you believe the child is a child and not an adult shrunk to a child, but as it is really thinking and acting and behaving as a child, it takes a little, it's a conversation we should have. So maybe we'll bring it up next time as well on the 10th of October, which is our next mob, because I think it's something that needs to be explored. It's a kind of an important topic. But right now, let's get to questions. We have Audrey's questions. And these questions may sound familiar because they are, but I'm going to address them because, every MoB Kaffeeklatsch can be somebody's first MoB Kaffeeklatsch. And, some concepts and thoughts that weren't touched upon the last time can be touched upon this time. So Audrey's first question is, how do you keep track of your ideas and inspirations? For instance, you're driving to a store and have an intriguing idea. What do? I stop time, freeze it, and then write down. No, I'm sorry. That's a whole different thing. What I do is I write down somewhere. So I'll usually do one of two things. If I'm having an idea and I'm driving, I can't write an idea down while I'm driving. So I'll pull over. I'll stop somewhere where I can have a moment to put the idea in my phone. Oh, Audrey's leaving. Bye, Audrey. She's frozen. He has a frozen image. Bye, Audrey. Hope if you see this later, we're doing your questions right now. So it was great for you to be here. Thank you for being here and have a great weekend. Just put this here. I really think it has to do with the UN. But I guess somebody before she leaves. So one method, if you're an author or a writer and you want to capture your ideas, walk around with a notebook. It's important because I've done it, and I'm sure every author here has done it. Even non-authors, even people, just us. We're somewhere we got to remember something, and we'll say, "I'm just gonna remember it. I'll remember it later. I'll put it in my head." And we try to count on our memories, and then we have 3 different things happening at once, and we forget what that initial idea was. And so, really, what's really important is that you write it down, capture the idea, put it somewhere where you can refer to it later, and then build upon it. I have an app on the phone that's like it's like a little notepad thing. You can just write quick notes. Excuse me. And in my wallet, I walk around with a little pad and a pen. It's an architect's wallet, and it has a pad and a pen in it. And then if my phone, let's say my phone dies, and I can't write an idea on my phone, I actually have paper and pen to write things down. You know. Excuse me. I do apologize, Wendy, because these things are horrible. When the technology doesn't work, it makes it really rough for everyone. And you guys are all here, devoting your time, and I really want to be respectful of the time that you're here to with us and spend time. But sometimes the city and StreamYard, it's not StreamYard because StreamYard's acting really well today. I think it's just we have our city situation. The network is acting kind of funky, and the UN gets a little paranoid when all these leaders are in the city because they don't want to. They're dealing with what they consider preventative defenses against cyber attacks. So they kind of tweak the networks. So Chris, but none of us are technomancers like Chris, who probably has the